Hello everyone and welcome to the Fatback 4 Daily. It is Saturday, it's the 5th of October I think, and Liverpool just keep finding a way no matter what. Liverpool 2, Leicester City 1, a James Milner penalty in the 94th minute. Divock Origi was encroaching on it, but who gives a flying fuck, let's be honest about it. This show was brought to you by Paddy, a bookies, an app, a website. If you gamble, try it with Paddy and always gamble responsibly. Matt is the man with me today because we're not doing a show tomorrow night. So Matt said, I really need to do a show. Get me on at 5:30 on Saturday. That's not the truth at all. But Matt, what a fucking win.
Evening, Gav. Fucking beautiful, isn't it? This is the types of wins that Klopp has put into this team. I mean, even 89th minute, and you know Divock Origi is on the pitch, you think something's going to happen, and it fucking did. As soon as Milner's stepping up to that penalty, there's no way he's going to miss. He's an absolute fucking warrior of a man. I love him. He just doesn't have nerves. You see Schmeichel trying to take the piss out of him, trying to slow things down and annoy him. He just doesn't even fucking flinch. And this is exactly the type of team that Jurgen Klopp wants, and is what he's built.
Do you know something? It's one of those where we go through the game, but just on the penalty itself, if you notice, Milner usually goes banging either corner, hard bottom right, hard bottom left. The odd time he chips it down the middle, but he's so confident in himself that he just puts it slightly to the right hand side, watches what Schmeichel's doing and puts it away. I had no doubts either, I have to be perfectly honest with you. And as soon as I went in, all that popped into my head was, this is like United in the mid-90s. Absolutely, the United in the mid-90s played really well. I thought we were a bit wasteful, conceded a goal, but I always felt, even when I looked at the clock and it was 87, 88, 89, I thought, we're going to get a chance here, we're going to do something. It's for years we've thought, for fuck's sake, all the time, but now it's kind of like, no, we'll do it, don't be worrying about it, we'll do it. Mick says the most hated team in the league, he absolutely loves it. Yeah, I absolutely love it too. Maverick is saluting Divock Origi like Machos did. James says, this is brilliant, keep it up. But Matt, just to go back to the start if we possibly can, and the surprise in the lineup was Dejan Lovren getting a start. I was on the show last night with Jonathan Higgins, and we were both saying, no, I can't see Lovren getting in. I think he'll only get in if there's an injury. He comes into the team. Milner comes in like I expected for Henderson, and the rest is as it always is. But just to touch on Dejan Lovren's performance, I thought he was excellent, and I'm one to give him abuse all the time. I thought he was absolutely excellent.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect much less from Lovren these days. He's cut out the silly mistakes. He's got Van Dijk next to him, and everyone steps up all 3 gears when they're next to Van Dijk. Doesn't matter who it is. Gomez proved he's still not up to speed fully. So to have Dejan Lovren as your 4th choice centre back and to bring him in, he's the best 4th choice centre back in Europe. I had no issue with him starting. I didn't think he would, but when I did, I thought he's got Van Dijk next to him. I'm okay with it. I'm fine. The defensive setup that we've got now, where the fullbacks know their job, that inside out. You don't even have to worry about these fullbacks anymore, attacking or defending. They know their fucking job. They don't rely on Van Dijk anymore. They know what they need to do. You have Fabinho sitting in front of him, covering every single piece of grass on that fucking field, and Adrian behind him, who's we've all seen has stepped up to a good level now anyway. So for me, to bring Dejan Lovren in there, it's absolutely fine, not an issue.
Well, I was just worried, don't get me wrong, I would have liked to see Gomez, but somebody made the point to me at half time saying, look, you can't really expect, Gomez hasn't played in a long time, he comes back in, he has a tough enough time on Wednesday night, was it, against Salzburg. Maybe it's too much to ask to go and play again on the Saturday. The worry for me, Lovren, was Vardy up against him was one, and the second one was he hasn't played a lot of football. MK Dons is the only time he's played, I think, in the last probably 2 months. But I thought he was absolutely excellent. Can I ask you a question, Matt? I thought Liverpool were very, very good. Did Leicester disappoint you a bit?
It's hard to know when teams play against us. You get all the commentators saying like, that they didn't play well today, against all these teams. But we don't let teams play well. We are so difficult to play through. You can't play from the back because the three psychos up front will pressure. You can't play through the midfield because every single one of them will run more minutes than any of your midfielders. And then the defence is just so tactically aware of where they need to be position wise. You can't play football against this Liverpool team. I mean, I haven't looked on Twitter or anything. I don't know anyone else's opinion on this. I thought we battered them, and then I went and looked at the XG, which some people don't like, but it's a good indication without any bias.
You love a bit of XG, don't you?
I like it.
Yeah, you love it.
In certain, like it adds depth to an argument, and it takes the bias out, which is good. And we were 3.5 to they had 0.1. So it just goes to prove what I thought is we absolutely battered them. We deserved. We should have been 3-0 at the end of the day. So yeah, I mean, back to the original question. Well, I wasn't disappointed in Leicester. This is what we do to teams.
You're just overly impressed by Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it looked scrappy, but it really wasn't. And it's what we've done to every single team in the Premier League except for Man City. It's the only one who we don't do it to, which is, I mean, it's Man City.
Yeah. Maverick said, would have been pissed off if we only got a point, deserved the 3 points, gave away too many attempts at Leicester's goal. Yeah, I'm going to come to that in a minute. Great tactical decision, says Mick from Klopp, to switch the front three to protect the fullbacks a bit more. Yeah, that's a good point. Pele Jones says, another great game. Actually glad of the international break. We looked slightly leggy, but fucking get in. Yeah, I echo those sentiments, I really do. Maverick says, I think the tactical switch with Mane on the right was a masterstroke. He was everywhere and covered Lovren and Trent. Yeah, that's following up on the point that Mick made as well. Matt, you know, you're saying there we should have been 3-0. I looked at half-time, Leicester didn't have a shot. They hadn't had a shot at half-time. You know, I think they were close enough to us in you know, passes made and stuff like that, but we had a lot of the possession. I asked you that question when you're a little bit let down by Leicester, unimpressed by Leicester, but I think you make a fair point. Liverpool were absolutely excellent today. And you know something, you know, I know Leicester got an equaliser, Matt, but the difference in the way we managed that game, I thought today, was night and day between, you know, the game this afternoon and Wednesday night.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing is today, if you were to criticise us, I thought the strikers were off. Mane was very good as usual. Salah, he's looking a bit, I don't know if it's tired or whatever lately. He'll come good. I've got absolute confidence in that. But he's not firing like he usually does. He's not going to rub the green in that. But so today the strikers are off. But in midweek the strikers were firing and the defence was off, which is why we conceded the 3 goals. So even though it's 2 close games, it's 2 different reasons. So if you break it down to an attack and a defence and look at it that way, we're not actually in a bad place. We just had 2 different types of games, if you know what I mean. And yeah, I mean, this is where we are as a team. We've said this for ages now. We've now got a defence and an attack where if one is not performing on a certain day, the other one will. And these 2 games, maybe these last 3 games we've looked at in the last week, have gone to prove that point.
Yeah, you make an interesting point. 2 different type of games. We're just getting to the stage, Matt, where no matter what game is put in front of us, we find a way to win it. We're winning games by battering sides. We're winning games by being a little bit lax, but still coming on to win it. We've won today, for me, by dominating the game and being a little bit wasteful, but still coming out the other side. I hate to say it, you know, and it's a cliche, and I know you love when I do cliches and stuff like that, but is that another sign of a potentially title-winning side?
I'll take that cliche. Yeah. You find a way to win. I mean, everyone says it. You'll go on Twitter tonight and you'll see it. United teams of old used to do this. The Fergie teams would always find a way, and that's what we're doing. We're doing it in a slightly different way because I think we're a better team than anything that's come before, except for maybe Man City. And every team that comes to us now is worried. I mean, if you get a point against us, it's an unbelievable result these days. But yeah, I mean, we can batter teams, we can grind it out, we can get a late goal. We've seen this in the last 2-3 years. It's not just about this season. But we're now just putting it all into one. Was it 8 wins now out of 8? 16 in total.
17.
17. Mm-hmm. Absolutely unbelievable. What a team we are. you run out of good things to say about them. But we're just an absolute monster of a team, and I love it.
Do you know something? You're saying we're a monster of a side. Again, you have to give credit to Klopp and his tactical changes, subs wise. You know, he gets Henderson on the pitch for a bit of energy. He gets Origi on the pitch. You know, he's trying to mix it up a little bit. Like Mick says there, in the last 10 minutes, Leicester ran out of ideas and resorted to fouling everyone, which cost them. It did cost them in the end. They're going on about this penalty, and is it and is it not? It's a penalty, and that's the end of it. But just going,
it's 100% a penalty.
Just going back,
it's not even messing.
No. It's and I know it went to VAR and that has to happen, but you could never see them not giving that penalty. But just to go back, first half, we get the goal just on half time from Sadio Mane, and it's a great ball by Milner. He outstrips one defender with pace. The other defender can't get across, and it's one of those finishes we're becoming accustomed to with Mane. You know, he opens his body, and a bit like, you know, the one that Thierry Henry nearly made famous. But we really deserved that going into half-time, didn't we? Because I felt on the balance of the first half, it probably should have been about, I would have said 2-0 would have been a fair score at half-time.
Yeah, we expected to be 2-0 at half-time, but, I mean, it's unlike usually where we keep grinding teams down. Luckily, Leicester were coming at us, and it took a piece of genius from Milner and Mane to get it. But we should have been 2-0 up, as you said. But them goals from Mane now, he's just... I think he's our most important footballer. And we saw it last season, even though I love Salah, he gets so many goals and he's an amazing player. Mane always gets the important ones, whether it's in the Champions League knockout games or the important big games like the top 4 games in the Premier League. It always seems to be Mane that gets them. And yeah, he's such an important player for us. All front three. Again, like the whole team, when one side of the team's struggling and another side picks up, it's the same for front three. If Mane and Salah aren't scoring, you've got Bobby, and Salah's on a bad week, Mane will step up, and that's the beauty of it. We don't need all three to be firing. Like Salah's not firing now, and I'm not worried about it because I know he'll come through a good patch soon. Yeah,
we're saying he's not firing, but he got to a midweek. I just think when people say Salah isn't firing, it's like when you see him have chances and he misses them, and they mightn't be obvious chances or they mightn't be bad misses, they might be just a little bit out. Yeah. You're just thinking back. You're thinking back to when everything he hit just went in, like everything. You know what I mean?
These are the standards he set for himself. So we're judging him on that, and that's okay to do. That's where he should be judged.
Exactly. Like he set standards the season before last, which were absolutely and utterly outrageous, and he done quite well to keep them last season at times. And this season, I don't know how many goals he got this season. Is it probably 7 or 8 in all competitions? I'd say it's something like that. You know, so yeah, Salah is not a worry to me at all. I agree with you on Mane. I think, do you know what he's brilliant at? When, like you said, when Firmino's not really at it or Salah's not really at it, Mane just steps up every single time. And the only thing I would say is the biggest effect on our side is when Mane doesn't play well. Do you get me? Like, if he has having a bit of an off day, it usually affects the rest of the side. Whereas other players can have a little bit of an off day, and the likes of Mane step up, and the effect is not absolutely it's not absolutely huge. But it goes into half time, Matt. It's 1-0. I'm a little bit tense over it because I'm thinking, you know what, this only takes one thing to go wrong here, and they're back in the game. The second half, I thought we were really good again, attacking wise. We had a couple of good chances. Again, they weren't really getting near us. We really needed to put one away though, didn't we? And not even get to 80 minutes and having to think about, oh Jesus, we need something to get these 3 points. We should have really put that to bed, Matt, between 45 and probably 70.
Yeah, there was a couple of chances. Salah, remember, maybe Mane. It would have been nicer to put them away. We're getting a few more of these heart attack moments, which are creeping into the game. But you know what? I mean, we had a lot of players come back from international duty over the summer quite late. And then what we've done here, I think Klopp is just getting us through to this international break, and then we can reassess. But yeah, so that's where the tired legs come in, I think. But yeah, we should have put 2 away at least, and then it would have been a lot easier. But we didn't, and their lucky goal crept in.
Yeah,
and that's where we were.
Ray Dicko, who was at Anfield today, and a member of this parish, he says thought we ran out of gas around 65, 70. Bobby and Genie were both goosed. Yeah, they were, but he makes the changes and he gets them off. He identifies that. And again, it's great to see players come on. You know, Henderson, great energy when he comes on. Origi is turning into a substitute that, you know what, he's multifunctional as a sub, and that's a massive thing to have. You know, if you need him to go up top and do stuff, if you need to play off the left hand side and do stuff, he
skips past people so easily. He never had that in his locker.
Yeah,
he was always quick, but now he draws them in and takes it past them. And it's another little piece to his game, especially in the later moments of a game, where it just helps us relieve the pressure a little bit more. You know, we can hold it up in the corner, or he's going to get to that byline. You have a lot more trust in him these days. I think it's probably a confidence thing as well. He comes on and they sing his name.
To say that, yeah.
He scored against Barca, so yeah, it's a beautiful substitution.
Sorry, I'm just taking a sip of me can, Matt, because you know when we win, we drink.
You have cans.
Oh, Matt, come on now. There's a bear shit in the woods. Centurion on YouTube says we need to be a little bit more clinical and our match management to be a bit better, but we are managing to win matches. It's like Matt said earlier, Centurion, it's one of those where, you know, during the week we're firing up front, a little bit off at the back, maybe the opposite today, but we're still winning, you know, and we're at a stage in the season where we can really put a proper foundation down for this season with regards to the league title. The middle bit is always in around Christmas, and you come out the other side and look at it, and then if you can hit top form January, February onwards, you're absolutely in the race. So at the moment, it may not be absolute perfection, but points wise it is, and that's just, there's so many positives in that, it's untrue. Matt, Leicester equalise. James Maddison gets it. He's the one player I didn't want to score for them today. If they were to score, you know, Vardy scores and it's just Vardy scored, you know, the kind of way, or if somebody else gets one. But Maddison scored and it's going to be a love-in for a week, or, you know, the whole international break about Maddison. It's a decent goal, I think. It's a decent movement. They get the wrong side of Fabinho, who tries to get back. Van Dijk doesn't really do anything wrong. He faces up the person on the ball. It's a little ball in behind him. But would you put a little bit of criticism at Adrian? You know, it's not the best hit shot. It's between his legs, but I think he could have saved that, Matt. I think he could have saved that quite easily.
Yeah, you can, but it's being harsh, I think. Again, we're looking at standards of a keeper of Alisson right now, and Alisson's feet are beautiful. So if you're looking like that, then yeah, you should have saved it. If you're looking at it as Adrian as a keeper, then it's a good finish. Actually, for the goal, I thought Van Dijk was a little bit flat-footed or a little bit slow to react. That's being overly critical, but it's just one of them. They played a nice little ball, and it worked out for them. We had people charging the shot down. He just put it in the exact right place. He had to go anywhere else, and that's either getting saved or was missing.
Yeah, I think if he hits a cleaner, he probably saves it. You know, like it's not a massive clean as the hits. Mick says the slight deflection off Lovren didn't help. Yeah, I don't know. I think if he hits that cleaner, I think there's more chance to keep her saving it. Maverick says when all is said and done, 3 points is the name of the game. We move on. The game was not as taxing as we expected, and I think players were just expecting to win. Rest periods has come.
Leicester are a very good team as well.
Oh, no, absolutely. Kev O'Sullivan says perspective. Leicester will be around the top 4 this season, and we battered them. The scoreline flattered them. I agree with that.
Kev's my mate.
Yeah, no, Kev's my mate too. Kev, we want to be mates with you. But, you know, Maverick says the rest period has come at the right time. I absolutely agree with that. You know, I genuinely, I think if you looked back at that game, I think 4-5-1 is probably a fair reflection on looking at the chances we had. Like, I think you said XG was around 3.5, was it? Is that what you said?
3.5 to 0.1.
Yeah, so there you go. So 4-1, 4-1 probably being I suppose generous to Leicester. Mick says 8 from 8 with FIFA's goalkeeper of the year to come in, looking good. Absolutely. Any ideas on the handbags at the end? Says Pele Jones. Was there handbags at the end? I literally walked after full time. I was up and
their lad Perez. I think they got him from Newcastle. He was having to go at
Newcastle.
He was having to go Robbo for something.
Yeah, did Robbo give him a dig or nothing?
I don't know, didn't see it. It cut to Klopp and then it cut back and they were all just stroking each other's necks a little bit, and that was it.
Oh yeah. Oh, stroking each other's necks. Oh, so that's okay. Yeah. Let me see.
We allow that.
Yeah. Maverick says he hopes Leicester can take points off Chelsea, West Ham and City. I don't care what they do against anybody else, but if they can go and do something against City, I'll absolutely be up for it. The one thing I did think afterwards, Matt, was we have to go there on Boxing Day.
Ooh.
that's a big one. That's probably one of the hardest fixtures you can pick to go away.
It's all right. We'll be 12 clear by then, so I'm not too bothered.
Yeah, take a draw, call it 10 points. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, we have it all planned out. Me and Matt know what's going to happen, so we're all right with that.
Winning the fucking league, Gav. That's what's happening.
Well, I've been trying to tell people all along. 22 more wins, Matt, leaves you with 90 points with 8 games to spare. You can't go wrong, can you? Robbo called him down the tunnel. Nice one. Robbo was calling him for a few slaps. According to Stephen Mack, Centurion says he was still at Perez when they were heading down the tunnel. Don't know what went on there.
Robbo went over and tried to say sorry, and Perez was giving it the big one with Van Dijk standing between us. So Robbo was like, "Oh, fuck you then," and then he saw it just carried on a little bit. As you said at the very beginning, it's all handbags. Nothing's happening.
Yeah. Can I ask you, Matt, before we go? What do you think Pep Guardiola was thinking at 93 minutes there today?
He just poured himself a glass of red wine, and he was
I'd say his jocks were down around his ankles.
Yeah, he was about to sit back and put Peaky Blinders on. He was all happy with his night. He thought, this is a great Saturday.
Yeah.
And then
big bag of those share crisps, something like that.
Exactly, yeah, the grab bags. Yeah. Cheetos maybe.
Maltesers.
And then it all goes down the drain. And now he's fuming. He's not sleeping. He's not sleeping tonight.
No.
He's going to mention us in the press conference tomorrow, and he's not even going to be asked. We're in his head at the moment, and I hope we stay there.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say. I'd say he's ringing random people just to talk about us. People he hasn't talked to in years. I'd say he's ringing Carlos Puyol and just saying, "Listen, have you seen what Liverpool have done there?" Carlos Puyol hasn't heard from him in 4 years.
Benitez has got 10 missed calls already.
David Villa's in China going, "Who's ringing me at this hour?" Maverick says Perez went ballistic. Fuck Perez, right, and everybody else. But look, it's Liverpool. It's 8 for me. It's not beyond my wildest dreams, but I did say on the show last night, I have a feeling, right, if we won there today, I think we can go into that City game 11 wins from 11. I genuinely believe that. Yeah,
I agree. These next 5, everyone was looking at and asking how many can we get? How many can we get? If we can get 12 before we even go there, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Although Aston Villa turned into the best side in Europe today, did you see that?
I did. 5-1, was it?
I was 5-0 the last time I checked. He just kept scoring against Norwich. I don't know whether...
It's a good job I took Campbell out of my fancy team then. I am on fire.
I think they were 3-0 up at half time, and I was wondering, you know that mad one that runs Norwich that comes out on the pitch? And what's her name? I can't think of it, but you know when she comes out and let's be having you.
Yeah, the cook.
Yeah, I can't think of her name, but I was hoping Match of the Day will have her on the pitch at half time going absolutely Ratcher. Do you know what I mean? But not to be. But you know, it's away to United next. Massive game mentally, I think, to go and put a marker down at Old Trafford. To not only to United to show them how much better we are, but to show with the City that look, we drew there last season and we're making it. It's different this season. Then it's Spurs at home, Villa away, and then City. Listen, if we're going in there 11 from 11, 33 points, I think we're easily going in there with 7-point lead. Easily going in there with a 7-point lead. So
you'd hope so.
You'd
take something off.
You'd absolutely hope so. But I've said it: December the 1st, January 1st, and February 1st. That's when you put your 3 markers down and you see where you are before we. Delia Smith, man.
That's the one, yeah. Linda McCartney.
Linda McCartney. What's the other cook? Remember the other one, the real saucy one, and she's in her kitchen.
Nigella Lawson.
Oh man, she's great, isn't she?
I'd have her on the pitch, yeah.
Yeah, if she was on the pitch now, I would be. You're running through brick walls for Nigella Lawson, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I hope she comes a Lions woman. That's what I want.
Yeah, the old Lions woman there today was getting a bit of a hard time.
She was shit.
Yeah, she's getting a bit of a hard time. It'd be interesting to see what Gray and Key say about her, won't it? But anyway, listen, we better go. That's 25 minutes of everyone's life we've wasted. Just before we go, man of the match.
Mane.
Yeah, I think it's simple, isn't it? Mane. Yeah, it is. Right, that's the Fatback 4 Daily for Saturday. Liverpool have beaten Leicester by 2-1 at Anfield thanks to James Milner. Ribena inspired 94th minute penalty to win the game. 8 wins from 8, 24 points from 24. We have ruined Pep Guardiola Saturday night. He's thrown share bags all over the place. He's put the fucking remote through the telly. You can't watch Peaky Blinders. But listen, that's what them Reds do to you. Over and out.